And he did write an article. What he was referring to during the interview there was the Jameson Williams article about that Mike Payton put out. We broke down, and now it's getting this like more. It's getting more traction because Albert Breer said he heard rumors about maybe the Lions potentially moving him, and then all Lions Twitter broke out and started talking about trading, maybe scenarios where they trade up, get like a first round. It's like all this stuff going on, guys. This is what we deal with here. Okay, we're dealing with a can of bullshit. That's what we're dealing with here. It's not going to happen. He's not going to get traded on draft night. Clip this. It's not going to happen. It's a suggestion that I don't mind people suggesting. It's the offseason. Things are suggested. It happens. Ideas are thrown out there and shot down. Have no problem with that. But do I actually buy any stock into it? Absolutely not. He's not going to get traded. He's going to be here this upcoming year because of how important he is to this offense, how important he is to Goff, and how good of a player he is. Now, if you want to extend him, cool. If you don't, well, then we'll figure that out next year or maybe at some point in the future. But as of this draft in 2 days, no, I don't think he gets traded on draft night because, guys, think about it like this, too. This is what I was thinking about today. If I'm a team inquiring about trading for Jameson Williams, what do you think his value is right now?
Probably that's what – like, think about Brandon Ayuk. Like, Brandon Ayuk last year, he wasn't getting a first-round pick.
Maybe?
He was a player that had a huge catch in the NFC Championship game. Probably a third, honestly.
Okay, so second, third.
Second best. You're not getting a first, I don't think, for a Jameson Williams because there's got to be a contract that goes with it, too. It's not just a
right.
I don't think it's just a, hey, here's a pick. I think it's like, hey, if we're trading for him, we want to know that we can extend him on a deal. Like, there's going to be a contract there.
Now, they've already shown in NFL history, people are like, we got to trade him with control left on his deal. If Jameson goes out there this year and puts up another 1,000 yards, his value increases, and a team will trade for him knowing they have 2 years of productive seasons, and they'll have no problem just signing him to a deal. We see receivers get traded all the time on the last year of their deals. So I don't even want to hear, well, you have control. You have to trade him now. No, you don't. No, you don't. History has proven that otherwise. So this report to me is bogus. Nothing's happening. And Jameson Williams will be on the team this year.
I'll say this, and I get what you're saying, Jeff. I think I get the point you're trying to put, the point you're pushing across. The Albert Breer stuff, I'll say, if he is hearing that there are teams that are reaching out for JMO, that I believe to be true. I do believe that there are potentially teams that might be like, hey, when you're doing your due diligence, if you're a good GM, you know everything that's going around with all 31 other teams, and you're looking around going, JMO, they'd already came out publicly and said they're probably just going to opt into the 5th-year option, and they're not looking to extend him right away. That's an opportunity. We saw what JMO did, and I know, and I've heard people talk about it, where's his trade value at right now because he's only had one good year. But you still got to see what that potential is. And there are teams out there that are desperate for wide receivers who would look at Jameson Williams and be like, hey, we're willing to pay him. We don't have a wide receiver like that on our roster. So are the rumors true that there are teams out there that are sitting there waiting for a trade for JMO? I can't confirm it, but I would say I would not be shocked if that's true. Is Brad Holmes shopping around? I would say if I was the GM of the Detroit Lions, I would not be, and I would be locked into keeping Jameson Williams with the Detroit Lions. But a general manager in the NFL always does what's best for the team and is always looking around. So would I be shocked if there were reports saying that Brad Holmes is open to the idea? I wouldn't be shocked. Now, this is where I talked to Klotz about it. Me and him were texting a little bit about it. I would not trade Jameson Williams at all this year. Like, you should not even think about it. It shouldn't go through your mind. You have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl in the next 12 months. Jameson Williams is a massive piece to that. You do not give up a piece right now that contributes what Jameson Williams does with the opportunity to win the Lombardi Trophy. You don't. Whether you get a wide receiver or not, this was the conversation with Klotz that I had. It's like, even if they get a wide receiver in the early rounds, you do not get rid of Jameson Williams. You know what he is. He's in your system. You know what you have in JMO. You don't walk away from that just like that, just because of a contract situation. You sit there and you let that thing play out until next year. You opt into the 5th year, and then you, at the end of next season, after you win a Lombardi, all right, those conversations could come around. Because next year, that's when you start talking about all these other extensions, the Laportas, the Brian Branches, like those kind of get into play. So I'm with you, Jeff. I'm with you on one side, to where there is no way on God's green earth that I would ever say, hey, I'm trading Jameson Williams in this offseason when you have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. But on the other side, I wouldn't be shocked if there are like teams out there that are pursuing JMO, and if Brad's sitting there being like, hey, I am a very good GM in the NFL, I will think about and look at every single option, whether I do it or not, or whether I really want to do it or not. I'm still going to take phone calls. Like I'm sure. It is a weird situation because we all love JMO, but I'm sure that's happened. I'm sure players that you guys all have loved at some point in their career, GMs have taken phone calls, or there's been conversations about moving them. It happens all the time. Think about the Luka Doncic thing. Whoever thought that there were ever phone calls about a trade for Luka Doncic, and then it happens, and you're like, wow. And I'm not saying Brad is even close to Nico, but when you guys see what I'm saying, like,
yeah.
There could be players on this team currently right now that are in trade, that they're having trade talks about, and we just have no clue. And if we heard it, we would be up in flames right now.
No, I think you do have a good point there, Booner. My thing is just like, it makes no sense in the time frame of, if you look at what Jameson Williams is for the Detroit Lions, going back to when he was drafted, Brad Holmes moved up 20 spots. With a division rival in the Minnesota Vikings, he went up 20 spots to get this guy with a torn ACL. So you knew his rookie year, he wasn't going to be out there. In year 2, you don't expect him to even be 100%. And now in year 3, even when he misses 2 games of suspension, which I understand if you don't love that, he gives you 1,000 yards. So you finally get what you want out of Jameson Williams. You see the tool that he can be. You see how it performs in the playoffs, both last year in the NFC Championship game and this year with the Washington Commanders. He was probably the best playmaker on the field. Even like when Jared Goff went down, what'd they do? They said, we need a big play. Let's go to JMO. Teddy Bridgewater comes in reverse, JMO touchdown. And you look at it just in big games, JMO steps up. So why in God's green earth would you trade him now when you know for sure you'd have him next year, and then you can look to move him? Because I don't think that Jameson Williams is going to be able to be re-signed, but you don't just let JMO walk because, well, you can get value for him now. He's a goddamn good football player. Like the Cincinnati Bengals, that'd be like saying for them, hey, trade T. Higgins when you still have year 4 on him. Like, why would you do that when you can trade him after? Because it's either way, a team's going to have to pay him. So you can get a little bit more incentive with the contract here, but you're also losing good player. You're not going to get a wide receiver in this draft that can do what JMO did for you this year. So it makes no sense to try to replace him. Like I said, you replaced Tim Patrick this year. You go out, you get a Pat Bryant, get Isaac Tesla. Don't care who it is. But then next year, okay, this is when you can start having those talks about JMO, because he's somebody that can give you another 1,000 yards this year, and you need that in the NFL. You need to have Jared Goff surrounded by good to elite players, and that's what Jameson Williams is.
The only thing that frustrates me, I guess, is people, especially our fan base, we talk a lot about windows and how in a window it's important. You need all the help you can get. That's why there's people out there that want the Lions to go all in. But then they're like, oh, well, I'd be open to trading away Jameson Williams with 2 years under control. Like, and he's one of your best offensive players right now. Like, you want him to play as much at this level he just played at for 1 year for at least another year. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. You're trading. Like, I get if it's like, oh, well, he's on the last year of his deal. We're going to trade him at the deadline or whatever, or like the offseason going into his last year, whatever. It's like, okay, and you're not going to pay him. But with another year of control, like, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And I'm not saying there's no calls, obviously. You take the calls, you talk. But just like the idea of it makes sense, there's no argument. Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.